Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak the Bag Show, 12 o'clock edition for Wednesday, December 6th. I'm having a lot of fun doing this show, Jim.
It is a lot of fun, but the last two nights have been less fun.
Did you know I went 16-6 yesterday?
Oh, nice work. Man.
Yes, 16-6. Jimmy the Bag, and yesterday was a very educational day in sports betting. Just a lot of the things that are just sort of classic situations that you see, we did see last night, right? First of all, you had two big picks, Jimmy. One, the line moved strongly in your favor and it lost, and one, the line moved strongly against you and it won, right? You see that all the time. The Pittsburgh Rangers game moved strongly in your favor, and what's the guy's name? What the frick is the goalie's name?
Henrik Lundqvist.
Henrik Lundqvist was out. They lost anyway, and then we saw a big line move in OKC's favor, right? It actually closed at 8.5 on bookmakers, so someone thought they knew something about OKC, but that line move was also not the right one. And Jimmy the Bag, you remember yesterday in the afternoon show, I talked about the massive line move on the total in the Montana State Central Michigan game, right? That game opened at 148.5. I gave the opinion. I thought maybe the under was a good bet. I don't know. Went down to 146, then got bet all the way up to 157 or 158 by tip-off. Jimmy the Bag, I don't know if you checked, but what do you think happened?
I think it went under.
Did it go way under or just a little bit under?
I think it went way
under.
Went
way under. So that just goes to show you, look, the line moves matter, but they definitely do not mean everything by any means, by any way, shape, or form. That 10-point line move in the total in the Central Michigan game yesterday was just a losing side, right?
Yeah, that's all it was. It was a really interesting day, man.
Yes.
Very bothersome. The Devils were an easy play, and then even the Sabres, both the Devils and the Sabres, my leans, because I had the Canucks, so if I had the Devils and Sabres too, it wouldn't matter of losing those 3 puck lines. I still would have had a profitable night. Then I lose by half a point with Nevada in overtime, which was fucking...
Well, maybe on your, but on our show it was a push. That was another thing I was going to bring up, which you remember, Jimmy the Bag had Nevada, and of course that they were a big underdog. The game goes to overtime. Now, anytime you have an underdog that goes to overtime, you were on the right side. Doesn't mean you're always going to cash, though. And also, not only is it illustrative of that point, but it's also illustrative of line shopping, because in the show, remember, it was a split line, 5.5 or 6. Most of the time, those half points don't matter, but when they do matter, they matter, and they mattered for Jim because, of course, it landed on 6, so you got to push on that one.
I got to push officially, but it's important. Line shopping is so crucial, and I need to be able to use it better. I need to have more books open, and last night was a classic example. I push here on the show, and then I lose with my fucking local. And it was extremely aggravating. And the fact that he even went to overtime was really aggravating.
Yes. Look, I mean, when we talk about line shopping here on this show, and having multiple outs and getting the best line, we're not just blowing smoke out of our asses, or we're not just talking bullshit here. It's freaking important. Yes, 90% of the time it won't matter, but it does. And those 10% of the times can be the difference between losing a lot, losing a little, and breaking even, or making a little, and making a lot.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. So yes, and I did go 16-6 yesterday. Up a bunch of units. Jimmy the Bag, you had a slight losing day, but you're still very close to being even in both NBA and NHL, and of course you are still nicely up in college basketball. And I think the good news might be that I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of plays I'm liking on today's card, or actually not a lot, but I'm seeing a few plays that I'm really liking.
I'm seeing one play in particular. Actually, I like the basketball card very much, but I'm seeing one play in the NBA that I'm doubling up on and that I'm in love with.
Really? Okay, well, we will get to that in a second. We'll get to the NHL in 1 second. Let's just quickly review some of these comments here, which, as everyone knows, I live for these comments. There you go. Philip Age, my favorite poster right now. Sorry for my tardiness. What's up, players? Picks up, salutes down. Big shout out to Philip Age's wife, who doesn't understand why he's watching a couple of white folks on YouTube, but he knows why, and we know why. she doesn't understand it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that she will this Christmas when she opens up the beautiful gifts.
Absolutely. Huge shout out to Philip Agee's wife. On the phone complaining to her friends about how her husband's watching crazy white folks on YouTube. All right, let's see other comments here. Let's see. K Pine says, "Told you Rangers last night and you didn't listen." I mean, you know. It was a lot of times when these big goals, and in the NBA you see that too. A lot of times a big player will go out, the line will move strongly in the other direction, and then they'll come back and win straight up, if not cover. You do see that a lot. Let's see. Wait, who's this? Is this Jersey Made guy slamming us?
Slamming me.
Oh, he said, "You barely have winners, chump. You barely have winners."
Yeah, he's
what does
not.
That mean?
It means that he can't fucking spell. That he didn't graduate from fucking high school.
Oh, he meant barely. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, geez, I didn't understand. Okay, Jason M says, "I fucking love you guys. Definitely worth staying up late till 4 a.m. here in Australia to get some good tips for the day. Jason M, please hook me up with Australian citizenship and an Australian girlfriend and/or wife. Would really appreciate that." Jason M, thanks for tuning in. Let's see a lot of great comments here, and then we will. This is funny. I like this going back and forth. Jersey Made, you mad your picks weak. You mad your picks weak. Yeah. Sure. I'm mad at everything, whether my picks are strong or weak. Let's see. This is funny here. Trent Ware saying, "I hate those I told you so guys." This is awesome. Wow, we're 2 minutes into the show, and already we're having energetic drama. I love this shit. I think it's going to be a good show today, and I think it's going to be a good show because I have a feeling Jim's going to have a winning day. I have a feeling the picks I'm liking in NBA and NHL are good. But Nate the Great says, "Jersey Made, you a bitch." Oh, we're going back and forth already. It's only 3 minutes into the show. This is friggin' awesome. This is funny. Jake Ash Schaefer says, "How long to grow that stash?" I don't really remember, but not that long. Not as long as for some other people. Let's see. Hagos Gova says, "Best part of the day with Jimmy Pete." All right. I love these comments. Thank you all so much. Let's get to the picks. How about you think about that? Juan Juarez says, "Hello, Loshak and Jimmy. Your hard work is appreciated very much. You guys are super chingang." Super chingan. I think that means awesome in Spanish, right? Let me see. Sorry, I just love these friggin' comments here, especially because the guy who buys thumbs downs struck again on our show yesterday. I don't know if you caught that.
On the Late Show?
Yes, struck
again
really? After the show though, so he couldn't respond. That's okay. We'll respond. This evening when we go over the big college basketball card, which we will have a bunch of picks on for sure. I have not looked at that yet. And what's up to where the hell is that guy? Gonzalo Lopez. All right, so let's get into it. Jimmy the Bag, what do you think? NHL, 4 games on the slate tonight. Let's see. Here we go. NHL, Calgary-Toronto is the first game. Jimmy and I are both going to be on the Toronto puck line. Second game, Chicago and Washington. That's an interesting matchup. No, I'm kidding. We are, right? Is this the low-hanging fruit of the week, Toronto on the puck line here?
No. One of the reasons why they lost 2-1 to the Canucks was not having Bozak to win faceoffs. Supposedly the food poisoning that he has received was really bad. He's out for 3 days. He will come back, and he'll come back weaker. The Leafs are coming back from a 3-game Western Canada swing, and I don't like betting on teams the first home game back. So there's a couple of different things. Mm-hmm. Now, they're still playing great, 3rd in goals per game, 5th in power play. The Flames are an angry group. They won just once on their 4-game homestand. We've seen teams play poorly in homestands and then go on the road and get their shit together. I'm not saying this happens here, but I don't see the Leafs as low-hanging fruit. The Flames are 7-4-1 on the road, a better record than they have at home. Now they have no depth at forward, and if that first line doesn't score, they're screwed. And their numbers are bad, so I expect them not to improve quickly. I think they need to add depth. They're 18th in goals per game, 24th in goals allowed, 14th in power play, 28th in penalty killing. I don't think this is low-hanging fruit.
Really?
That's
interesting because I was thinking. I mean, obviously Calgary is a team that can win in spots, which is why their underdog lines are not as huge as like Arizona or some of the or Buffalo or whatever. But it just feels like Toronto is off a loss, off of long rest. Calgary's definitely slumping. Toronto beat Calgary 3 days ago, so we know that the matchups work. And I see why would they not be able to do it again? I mean, you made good points. The question is just what's the percentage play here? And you really think this is a down spot for Toronto, not just a little bit of a down spot?
I'm just concerned. I'm concerned. The Leafs need the right-handed face-off man, and that's what Bozak does. So it doesn't matter if Bozak's on, getting goals or assists. He really helps this team. He's got size, wins face-off. So And I expect him to play tonight, but I bet you he's lost 10 pounds in the last 3 days.
All right. Well, it might not be low-hanging fruit, and once again, it might lose as Winnipeg lost last night, and, I lost a unit. Jim lost a unit on that one, and I'm okay with it. Like I said, if this one loses, I'll lose a unit, but I'll be okay with it. I'm going to take Toronto -1 here. The money line part of this, best line all across the board, -153, and the puck line part is +190 at Pinnacle and the Greek and a few other places. So I'm taking it. Toronto -1. Hopefully Bozak is okay tonight, and Calgary doesn't step up, which they might, but I feel like they're a beatable team. Feel like Toronto is maybe a little bit salty off the loss, and I'll take them. Toronto -1 is my pick on that one, and you're going to pass on this game, huh?
I'm going to pass on this game at this point.
Okay, I was also leaning to the over on that one. I had a bunch of winners yesterday with the over, and in the afternoon show, I added on all my leans. I've been talking about how I want to add all my leans because it's just no ballsy for me not to. Added all my leans, most of them won. You know what I mean? Although, once again, Jim, just think about this. In the Buffalo-Colorado game, the first period under, I loved it. It cashed. That game went over. The Minnesota-LA game, I took the first period under on that one. That one cashed. I wisely stayed off the full game. The full game went over. So a lot of these games with like the 5.5s with like the -135, -140 money lines to the under that are obviously not good bets on the full game unders can be good bets on the first period unders,
Yeah, I was irritated not adding my Buffalo lean and New Jersey lean. I put them in the NHL contest for Sportsbook, so I'm up over 20 units in 18th place, but you don't get fucking paid for that. Yeah,
it's really, look, when you're it's these big underdogs, it's tempting because they're risky because they could lose, but if they win, you get a big payoff, and it's always risky to know when to bet them and how much to bet, and the key is just not to bet the underdogs too heavily, right? Because they are likely to lose, and then you're for expected growth reasons, you want to bet your underdog bets smaller than your favorite bets. All right, so I was thinking about the over on this one. I am going to take -1. Now let's move on to Chicago-Washington. Chicago's obviously been losing recently, but they're still a pretty decent team, or would you disagree with that?
I think that the big problem with Chicago is, and I don't understand how they can have the 10th highest scoring offense in the league and the 29th ranked power play. So they're now moving Kane to the point. And I don't know if that's going to work. I mean, you want to have Kane in control of the puck as much as possible on the power play, but I still like him on the hash marks. They've gone 1 for their last 13, and they're not looking good. They're 1-2-2 over a stretch of 7 days. 5 games in 7 days is tough. Now they have Corey Crawford out with a lower body injury, and Anton Forsberg has looked pretty good. And I didn't expect him to, and he's looked better as he's had more action. He's now 1-3-3, which is 1-6.
Right.
But he's got a .914 save percentage, and I think he'll be fine. But the Capitals are playing very good hockey right now.
Yes, playing great. They rolled San Jose, but as you've said many times, San Jose not a terribly impressive team. They're old and slow, right? And Chicago will probably give them a different challenge. Maybe Washington looked a little bit better than they really are at this moment because of playing such a vulnerable team on the road.
I think that is exactly what happened. And they lost TJ Oshie, who is a big part of their offense. So they won 5-6, and Ovechkin scored his league-leading 20th goal, but their offense has been mediocre all year, and now they don't have Oshie. So they're 15th in goals per game, 7th in power play thanks to Ovi. But I think it's a questionable spot.
Well, a lot of people are interested in this game. A lot of people, Vincent K. Maxwell says Chicago might steal this one, but more people are kind of leaning Capitals. Chris IG says Caps at home. Alonzo Shiver says Caps money line. Gambling God says Chicago 0-5 last 5 at Washington and currently 2-9 against teams with a winning record.
Wow.
Alonzo Shiver says Caps game goes under. Jose Ruiz also likes the Caps to win 3-2 and the under. So yeah, this is a pretty tricky game. Rem Most says Forsberg sucks as well. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so most people on the Jose Ruiz says Washington owns Chicago. Most people clearly on Washington here. A few opinions saying that maybe Chicago can steal it, and I would take Chicago, but not at the current line. You'd have to give me like 140 at least, preferably 155 to take a shot with Chicago here, right?
I agree.
All right, so it's going to be a pass for you, Jim?
It is going to be a pass.
All right, let's move on to Philly and Edmonton. Philly, of course, beat Calgary last game, ending their 10-game losing streak, and Jimmy and I both immediately liked the over on that one, and of course that one cashed. Edmonton also played Calgary last, and they rolled. They've now won 4 out of their last 6, and I'm thinking looking at value with the over again here. It's actually a very low total. It's not 5.5 minus 120 or anything like that. It's actually 5.5, like minus 101, actually plus 100 at betonline sportsbetting.ag. Is that not an excellent play there, Jim? What do you think?
I think that is an excellent play.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'll be on that. And I'm also going to be on the Flyers. I'm going to take both the over and the Flyers. Oilers have placed Cam Talbot on injury reserve, so now Laurent Brossoit takes over the #1 goalie duties. He's looked really bad so far. Now, he was just given some confidence by the coach. They're going to stick with him, but he's 1-4-1, 3.81 goals against average, .872 save percentage. He's appeared in 8 games and has allowed 5 or more goals in 4 of them. And as a sign of how bad this Oiler forward unit is, they just picked up 2 guys off of waivers that may immediately be put on the ice. They have surrounded arguably the best player in the league with a bunch of slow skating bums. And key defenseman Adam Larson remains out of the lineup. And he is a guy that it's hard to kind of judge how he's playing out there, because the more you don't notice him, really, the better he's playing. He's a stay-at-home young defenseman, and he's going to be out of the lineup too. Flyers got out on the road, snapped their 10-game losing streak with a 5-2 win over the Flames. The Flyers have to take advantage of the Oilers' league worst penalty kill. That is so important, and they only have 2 more games without Radko Gudas. I think this is a good spot for the Flyers and a great spot for the over.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to take the over 5.5 plus 100. I'm a little bit scared about fading Edmonton right now when they're matched up against a team that is, not a juggernaut. So I'm going to stay off that one. You're taking the over, though, right?
I'm taking over and the Flyers.
Edmonton over 5.5 plus 100 is the best line right now at BetOnline, sportsbetting.ag and a few other places. And the best line for Philly is plus 111 at a few places as well.
And Rem Most comes in and says that McDavid is sick too. It doesn't feel like he's been sick for a month.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this kid's got pneumonia at some point, because he's been sick nonstop. He just doesn't seem to be getting better.
Is McDavid out? That would explain why the total is going down.
Yeah, I don't believe McDavid is out, but I will keep an eye on it at this point.
Right. Okay, so I'm on the over with Jim, 5.5 plus 100, and Jim is on Philly money line plus 111. We'll see what's up with McDavid and where these lines move. And then the Ottawa-Anaheim game, obviously very interesting. I mean, Ottawa, they got that 1 win in the high-scoring game against the Islanders, which I believe that was one of my, I had the over on that one. And then their next game, they get absolutely shut out. So it was not the start of something, better from Ottawa, which I think we were sort of sitting back and waiting to see if that was going to happen, kind of expecting it. They should be better than what they've shown, but after getting a win that should have maybe given them a little bit of a spark, they come out with a complete dud in the next game. What the hell is up with Ottawa, Jim?
It's very confusing. They've lost 8 of 9. This will be game 4 of a season-high 7-game road trip. They've not played since they were destroyed 5-0 by the Winnipeg Jets, and they were destroyed in that game. And, anytime a team gets destroyed, they seem to come back well. They seem to come back strong. They were outshot 49-21 in that game, 19-3 in the first period, and that was Sunday. So they have had a long time to think about it on the road, which is a good place to be. Mark Stone said that's the most embarrassed he's ever felt playing in the NHL. Erik Karlsson has to be part of the reason why they've had a slow start to the year. He's had a slow start coming back up from offseason ankle surgery. He's just 1 goal, 16 assists in 20 games. He's also a -11. The Ducks are on the second half of a back-to-back. They've lost 7 of 8 themselves.
Yeah.
They're trying to get by with half of their opening day roster. They have a league-leading 159 man games lost. And so after picking up Adam Henrique and Joseph Blandisi in a trade to bolster their forward unit, Blandisi promptly went down with an upper body ailment. After trading away top 4 defenseman Sami Vatanen, now they've lost top pair defenseman Hampus Lindholm to an injury. It just doesn't end. They got Raquel back. They might get Silverberg back, but I think the Senators are a good spot here, and I'm going to take them.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. On the money line, huh? Best line right now is a very slight underdog, plus 101. Ottawa, plus 101 money line, and that is at Pinnacle and BetOnline and a few other places as well. All right, this game feels like a stay away for me. Let's see some comments on this game. A lot of people like in Anaheim because of Gibson. Skate forever. 12341 says Gibson is a god. Alonzo Shivers says Ducks goalie should hold up. All in caps. Big Easy VZ says I like the under, which I was thinking about. I was definitely thinking about that one myself. Let's see. Jose Ruiz said he's laughing. He's laughing at the pick, Jim. He goes, Ottawa not going nowhere. Anaheim on the puck line. What do you think about that?
I think this is. I'm happy. It's a great spot for you to take Anaheim on the puck line. You'll get a huge gift. You'll get plus 260 or something. But in saying that, we just watched the Red Wings lose 10-1, come back and beat the Jets 5-1. The Senators got completely embarrassed. And if you look at their roster and with the Ducks injuries, they have a much better hockey team. Now that Hampus Lindholm is out, now you've taken away Hampus Lindholm and Sami Vatanen from this Ducks team. I mean, you just keep taking away and taking away and taking away, and you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, everyone seems to... Brendan Cummings likes your Philly play. He goes Philly all day, Flyers -1 line at 5 dimes. Great pick, Jimmy. So, Brendan Cummings likes the Philly play. Yeah, okay. Everyone seems to be liking the Ducks here, except for, Sens, PB38, Sens coming off embarrassment. Ducks coming off loss last night where they should have won. Leaning Sens here. So there you go. There's someone leaning Sens, PB38. All right, so we'll see where this line moves. It's definitely a pass for me, and I would have a slight lean to the under, but I'm probably going to pass on that one. Let's see. Vincent K. Maxwell, I'm loving your NHL picks today, Bag. We are in sync. Let's fucking cash today. Sounds good.
Let's do it.
D. Hall says Gibson might not play. It might be Ryan Miller, who's been good this year. Yes, I actually saw Miller listed as well, but I don't know if that's accurate. Let's see. Okay, all right. So 4 games. Here are the picks that we've given so far. Jim has given Edmonton over 5.5 plus 100, Philly money line plus 111, Ottawa money line plus 101, and I'm on the Toronto puck line -1 and the Edmonton over 5.5 plus 100. And I might look into these games a little bit further and make some picks and add some picks in the 6 o'clock show, although I'm sure that'll be all about college basketball. I'm just thinking about maybe a shot with the Ottawa-Anaheim under, maybe a shot with the Philly-Edmonton first period over, maybe shots with the Calgary-Toronto game going over. You don't like that one, though. The Calgary-Toronto game, you have no feel for the total on that one? What do you think?
I would lean towards goals for sure, but I don't like backing a team coming back in this situation. I just don't like it.
Yeah, and Toronto has had some surprisingly low-scoring games recently. And what's your take on Mike Smith in general? You think he's vulnerable, or you think he's a guy who's usually good to hold up for a solid game?
Well, I was against him when the year started, and then he actually pretty much made me look bad, and then he's now fallen into a slump. There were some people that came on to when we would cut up our segments in our NHL segment. There was a woman who came on and was pretty offended that I said that he was over the hill, and then she showed a lot of statistics about 35-year-old goaltenders having close to career years.
Right.
So I think he is a good goalie, but he's not a great goalie, and he should be doing better because the Flames have a really good defense.
Okay, so we also didn't throw up the record. Do you mind if you throw up the record, Wanma? Let's throw up the NHL record just because I had a great day in NHL, and I'm probably going to have some losers soon, so it might not ever be this good again. I'm up 12.7 units in NHL, Jim, plus 7.8% ROI, 79 and 68 plus 101 average line.
Beautiful.
Not too shabby.
Beautiful.
And it was because I started to give my leans and going on these first period totals plays, which have been overall pretty good for me, although I got a little bit snake bit a couple of days ago and then started to win yesterday and I think the day before as well. All right, so shall we move on to the massive NBA card?
Yes.
All right, let's move on to the massive NBA card. Let's start out with, let's throw the record up there, Wanma. The records are not super great for either of us. I was much higher in the NBA about a couple weeks ago. Now I'm at plus 5.7 units on the year so far, and Jim is at minus 2.3 units. Couple of winning days, could have that distant memory though, Jim. And yesterday was a great call on the under, and I knew as you were talking about it, and as I was reading the comments, you remember in yesterday's show, I said out loud, I said, man, I should fucking tail that. You remember?
I do.
I could tell by the way you guys were talking. Like I said, handicapping the handicappers, getting to know when the handicappers that you follow are onto something or when they're wrong can be one of the most valuable ways to a handicap sports in general. And when you guys were talking about that game, I was like, that's the right play right there, the under. I knew it. All right, so let's get into the card today. There's one game that I think I'm liking. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm liking it. We'll see what everyone has to say about it. And it's got to be the Clippers at home getting points against Minnesota, right? Minnesota's starters are playing so many minutes. It's a revenge game, right? The Clippers got beat in their last game. They're at home catching 5.5. I'm not saying they win outright, but I think they either win outright or it goes down to the wire. Would you disagree with that, Jim?
I think the value's on the Clippers, but it's really hard to believe in them. They're just a fucking mess. Only DeAndre Jordan's left from the opening night starting unit. Without lobs from Chris Paul, he's averaging 10.4 points per game. They are getting Danilo Gallinari back.
And that's part of my thought.
That is key. He is key. And when they get Teodosic back as well, which could be as early as Saturday, we'll probably start finding a lot of value with them. They've lost all 3 games without Blake Griffin. They're giving up 115.3 points per game without him.
Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, Minnesota have those fearsome guys in the starting lineup, but my sense is that the spot combined with the points that they're getting, if this was 2.5 or 3, I'd probably lay off. Could easily see this one landing on 4 or 5, but I'm going to take it. I'll make it an official pick. The Clippers plus 5.5, minus 105. I will start with that. That is the line at Pinnacle, and I was also leaning the under, and that line has definitely been headed down. It was 215 when it opened last night on the overnight, and I'm definitely looking at the under here. It's now 212 and a half. There's still some 213s around. The Greek has 213, and I'm thinking about the under. What do you think about that, Jim?
I am on the under.
You're on the under?
Yes.
Oh, shit. All right, tell us why.
These are 2 struggling, disappointing teams.
Yeah.
I know they just played Sunday night in a 112-106 victory for the Wolves. Minnesota had lost 5 of 8 before that win. 4 of those losses coming against teams under 500. Now their defense is bad, but Butler has a sprained pinky finger. The Clippers are a mess, and Gallinari is not going to be lights out in his first game back. I just see this as a nice spot.
I thought the under was a decent play, not a lock. If it loses, I'll be happy with it. I'll make it official. The Clippers, Minnesota, under 213, minus 110, and that's official for you as well, Jim?
Yes.
All right, under 213, minus 110 is the line that we will have to take. It was 215, 214 a little while ago, but we take religiously up to the minute lines of the Greek right now. 213, minus 110 is the best line market-wide. Now, let me tell you about another pick that I was liking, Jim. Tell me what you think about this one. I was thinking about taking Miami plus the points. What do you think about that one? I know a little bit risky. I know that's a little bit risky, a little bit scary. They're getting 7.5. The Greek has 8. What do you think, Jim?
I don't think it's a terrible spot. I'm just concerned about how. So they're not starting Olnick. They're putting Ben Adebayo, and he is a difficult task of lining up against LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yes.
And it's no surprise they're not using Olnick. I mean, the guy's got tiny little arms, and it's no surprise that they're going to try using Bam against him. But the Spurs have beaten the Heat 8 straight times, but you're getting a nice amount of points. There's no question about that. And Miami heads to San Antonio after a 28-point loss to the Warriors. And Dragic finally got out of his slump, put up 20 points in that game. He had scored in single digits 3 straight games. But the Spurs just keep rolling along. They just keep rolling along. 16-8 without perennial MVP candidate Kawhi Leonard. They're also now without his replacement Kyle Anderson, but they just keep rolling along, winning games. They won 5 of 6. They had 7 players in double digits in their win over the Pistons. Rudy Gay has taken over the Kyle Anderson spot and
they
keep
rolling along with straight up wins, but are they rolling along with covers? 50-50, right?
Well, I lost on them against the Pistons.
Right, by a half point. But yeah, still. All right, so I will take this one, Jim. I will take this one. I will take Miami. It's a 7.5 or 8. The Greek has 8 right now, plus 8 minus 110. Pinnacle has 7.5 minus 102. I will take that one, Miami plus 8 minus 110. And you might think I'm going crazy here, but I'm actually thinking about maybe I'll wait till the 6 o'clock show to do this. I'm actually thinking about maybe doubling up on it because I'm thinking that Miami on the first half might be a decent play as well. It's 4.5 or 4 market wide. I'm thinking about that, Jim. And you know what? I actually will take that. I'm going to take Miami on the first half plus 4.5, and the best line is minus 114 at Pinnacle on the first half, plus 4.5, minus 114 at Pinnacle, and the full game plus 8 minus 110. I think the Spurs, a great program, probably going to grind out a win one way or another here, but I just feel like it's too many points considering the spot.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of people against you on the forum, but there were a lot of people against you when you had Rutgers yesterday.
Oh, now that was a pick right there, wasn't it, Jim?
That was a phenomenal pick.
I like that one, and, full disclosure, I like that one much better than I like this Miami pick, and I'd say I like the Clippers pick much better than this Miami pick as well. The Clippers pick, the Miami pick, look, it makes me nervous, and I understand all the reasons why you don't ever want to bet against San Antonio, especially with a team like Miami. But, yeah, look, I'm going to do it, and Yeah, maybe I'll pull it. Maybe if the line moves in my favor, I'll pull it in the 6 o'clock show. Let's look at some of these comments here. Justin seriously saying Pete is wilding out. Yes, I am getting a little bit loosey-goosey, but I'm just like, instead of hemming and hawing, I'm just like, all right, these are my leans. I'll give it instead of spending 30 seconds, going back and forth saying, I don't know if I should do it or not. Let's see. Wow, Hako Schofield, Spurs win by 20. Why? Why does he think that? Jose Ruiz, not with you on that one, Loshak. Carlos Luders, Spurs may win by 15 plus. Why? Brendan Cummings, I'll take the Spurs to cover this line 6 out of 10 times. Oh, shit. That's not very good. Damn. King Rail says Spurs are looking great. I'm on the Spurs, Pete. Hako Schofield, Spurs kill the Heat. Wow. Whoa. Luke Charleston, Spurs will get it done. Pop knows how to get his team ready for games like this. Wow. Everyone loves the Spurs here. Gambling God giving a quote, Miami 1-9 against San Antonio last 10. I'm assuming that's straight up, right? Spurs are 24-9 in December the last 3 years. I'm assuming that's straight up, right? Not ATS. Holy shit. Wow. Hako Schofield, no, Pete, don't go with Miami and the Clippers. Wow. Alonzo Shiver, Spurs easy win. Jose Ruiz, Loshak, you crazy. Spurs are going to... Everyone, wow. That was about 8 or 10 people loving the Spurs and 0 people liking Miami, and I just doubled up on it, Jim.
Well, I mean, I think they're getting too many points.
Right.
And that's the move you're making. You're trying to take advantage of a situation, and that makes sense to me. Now, it doesnn't make so much sense that I'm going to hail it.
Right.
But I get your angle.
Zach A saying Loshak is out of control. Ha ha. Taking these ugly underdogs. All right, I just made 2 underdog picks. Yeah, look, I might eat a couple of losers here. It just feels like that's the spot that I'm liking. All right, let's move to you, Jimmy the Bag. Let's see what you got from today's NBA card.
My favorite spot of the day is the Orlando Magic at home. I'm going to take them on the first half and the full game. Yes, they've won 4 of their last 17 games. Vucevic, what the fuck's wrong with me? Vucevic beat up on Enes Kanter, scored 34 points in a 105-100 win. But that was a Knicks team missing their best 2 players, and that doesn't give me a lot of confidence. The following night, the Hornets' bigs took advantage of Vucevic. He scored just 10 points in a 104-94 loss. Now we're dealing with a Hawks team without Dedmon and without Collins. Plumlee is not going to be able to take care of him. Plumlee is in big trouble. Clearly, the Magic goes as Vucevic goes. They're 2-10 on the season when he scores under 15 points, and I think he's going to have a huge night. The Hawks just split a home and home with the Nets. They're having a very difficult time with the injuries. They gave up 40 points in the paint to a Nets team that has no killers, no rim killers at all. And the Magic do. I think Gordon goes off. I think Vucevic goes off. I think the Magic are low-hanging fruit. They're my best pick of the whole entire day.
Wow, I'm sorry. I was just getting there were more forceful comments about my horrible pick on Miami that just came tumbling in. All right, Atlanta and Orlando. It is a split line here. BetDSI does still have 6 on the full game and 3 on the first half. Everyone else has Bookmaker has 3 minus 115, but DSI has 3 minus 110. So we'll credit you with that one. Minus 3 minus 110 on the first half, and on the full game, Pinnacle has 6.5 minus 101, but DSI still has 6 minus 110. And that's what you want?
Yes.
All right, Orlando minus 6 minus 110 in the first half. Holy shit. I want to get into some of these fucking comments here. Holy shit. Let's see. Right, who replaces Whiteside? Obviously, Big Easy VZ saying that one. Jesus Christ. Let me see. Jason M. Isn't he? Jason M. Spurs are going to win, you fucking cunt. Now, he's from Australia. That they use that word differently there, right?
Yeah, they do.
It's like a term of endearment. It's like they'll be like, "Oh, I love you, you fucking cunt." It's like do. That's not an Australian accent. That whatever.
I don't know what accent that was, but
yeah. So he's not saying like you fucking cunt. He's like, Spurs are gonna win, you fucking cunt. Yeah. All right. Listen. And then Gambling God just says that all of his stats that he quoted are ATS. Is that true? Wow. So. What are they? They're 24-9 ATS in December over the last 3 years. Jesus Christ! And Miami is 2-9 or whatever he said it was ATS in the against the. All right, okay. Jesus Christ! Maybe I'm on the wrong side here. I don't know. I just Ran a couple numbers here and decided that I like Miami getting a little bit too many points. I might be totally wrong. No, Jason, I'm saying LOL, I'm sorry. No. We love that shit here. It gives us an opportunity. If you hadn't made that comment, Jason M, I would never have had the opportunity to say that sentence loudly in a terrible faux, British accent. So yeah, thanks very much. Wow. Hako Schofield 5150. Still love you, Pete, but disagree with you today. Everyone friggin' disagreeing with my picks. Holy shit. All right, okay. Jesus Christ. Adrian D says, Loshak in the bag, you boys make my day, keep it rolling. All right, well, no one's slamming your Orlando pick, and hopefully you cash on those two, Jim. I'm staying way off that game. Makes me nervous. Both teams I feel like I don't have a good handle on, and so I'm going to pass. I believe I took Atlanta in their last game. Didn't I? Or I was leaning to taking them against the Cavs, and they got blown out, although I cashed for the under on that one. So Jim's on Orlando, first half -3, and the full game -6, -110. What else are you liking, Jim?
I like the Pacers on the first half.
Oh, yes.
The Pacers just destroyed a Knicks team missing Porzingis and Hardaway. It was 115-97 final, but it was much worse than that. Thaddeus Young scored 20 points. 7 Pacers were in double figures. One of those Pacers, Corey Joseph, will miss the game with a shoulder contusion, but the Pacers offense is clicking. They're 6th in the league, averaging 108.9 points per game, and 6th in the league with 23.4 assists per game, and they are 7-4 at home. The Bulls have lost 9 straight, 1-11 on the road. Their offense is last in the league at 95.6. I think Oladipo and the boys hammer him immediately.
Okay, I was leaning that way as well. I'd much rather be getting 5, but it's 5.5 though. 5.5 -110 at Bookmaker and a bunch of places. That was definitely a bet that I made. I took 5 earlier, and it's 5.5 now -110. I'm gonna think about that one, and that's an official pick, huh?
Yes.
5.5 -110. I'm definitely agreeing with that one. Wow, a lot of comments about this. Jason Barco likes Orlando all day. Make America Great Again says everyone disagreeing it would make me feel better about it. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I can say that. I can say, wow. So everyone in the chat is disagreeing with my play on Miami. Now I like it more. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. Everyone's agreeing with your picks, Jim. Love Pacers. Love Orlando. No one has come in saying they disagree with either of those picks. What else do you like here, Jim?
I'm going to take the Cavs on the first half as well. Cavs can tie a franchise record with their 13th consecutive win. They've scored at least 100 points in 17 consecutive games. Dwayne Wade is coming off the bench like a monster. Obviously, he cared a little bit more about fucking over the Bulls than he's going to care about the Kings, but scored 24 last out, 6th in the league in bench scoring at 12.9 points. He scored in double figures 7 straight games. James has had a field goal percentage over 50% in 11 straight games and 22 out of 24 games this year. Kevin Love is averaging 26.8 points, 12.3 boards over his last 4 games, and the Kings are the 4th straight team with a losing record to play the Cavs. And what I've noticed lately is they're just jumping all over these guys and then resting. The Kings are 29th in the league in scoring and offensive efficiency. Only the Bulls are worse. George Hill's looked awful, averaging 8 points less a game than last year. I'm going to take the Cavs on the first half. Okay, it's 7.5 everywhere except for Pinnacle, which has 7 -110, so we'll give you that one. Cavs first half -7, -110. Sounds like you think that this might be one of those games where the Cavs cover the first half and then might not cover the full game at 12.5. What do you think? That's my worry. It's not that I don't think they'll cover the 12.5. My worry is just that they're going to jump all over them and then kind of take it easy. And then I was thinking about another play with another under. I was thinking about it. I bet it at 210.5. It's now down to 209.5 or 209. What's your take on? You seem to have a pretty good feel for what Cleveland does. We've seen this many times before, where I've had a bunch of plays on the Cleveland under where the first half went way over, and I was like, all right, that's a loser. And then the second half went so slow that the game wound up going under on the full game as well as the second half. What do you think about a play on the under here? What do you think? Well, let me step just quickly back. I have lost on the Cavs all year. So I'm trying to figure them out, and I'm spending a lot of time studying them, so hopefully I can get on board. So in saying that, I find it very uncomfortable to take the Cavs on full games because they've been blowing teams out early and just taking it easy. And then the totals are a mess at that point. Yes, they are. So, and that's exactly what I tend to do. I tend to bet a lot of second half totals in Cleveland games, and sort of watch and wait to see what happens in the first half. But I guess I'd be leaning to the under on that one. And then with the Chicago Indiana game, another thing I was thinking about maybe the over or maybe the Indiana team total over. What do you think about that? I mean, Indiana, when they get rolling, they put up points, and Chicago can definitely give up points, and that team total would be just like 109 or something. What do you think about that, Jim? Wow, that's a really very interesting spot.
Yeah.
109 is a spot that seems attainable. I even think, Corey Joseph, I mean, I know he doesn't have a lot of length, but he's a great defender and a smart basketball player. And with him out of the lineup, there'll probably be a little more scoring.
Yeah. So I was thinking about a shot with the over on this one and with the team total over, although it has gone down. It opened at 210 and it's now all the way down to 208, 208.5 or 209. So that definitely concerns me a little bit, but I was definitely thinking over on that one. I was definitely thinking maybe a shot with the under on Sacramento, Cleveland, and then some other interesting games. The Knicks against Memphis, right? Memphis, finally got a win in their last game. Very nicely done, Memphis. Now they go up against New York. I've been reading that Porzingis is probable. So if he is back, I think we can assume he'll be 100%, right? I think that Hardaway is still out, right?
Out at least 2 weeks.
Cantor, right? But Cantor, is in and probably will get a boost with Porzingis back. If Porzingis plays, are the Knicks maybe a good bet at just -2?
I don't know. Damian Dotson has come in to replace Hardaway, and he's looked really bad. Second-round pick of this last season, or this last draft. In his last 2 games, he's played 51 minutes, put up 11 points, 8 boards, and 1 assist. I don't know when they're going to stop this experiment. Gasol has 48 points in his last 2 games. Chandler Parsons is going to be back in the lineup, and he is necessary for this team to excel. And now Conley will be out until Christmas, so... what's the total at this?
The total is 197 and has not moved much. Has not moved at all since I looked at it on the opening line. So it seems like no money's come in on the total. It seems like a little bit of money's come in on Memphis because they did open at 3 and it's now down to 2 or 2.5. But I'm thinking this might be a spot to take New York if Porzingis is back, right? Or no?
I expect Porzingis to be there. It's almost certain that he will be here.
How bad do you think the Knicks are in general, Jim?
I think that when they don't have Hardaway and Cantor, both of them in the lineup to take the pressure off of Porzingis, they're a bad basketball team.
So you think Hardaway is that important?
I do. I do think he's that important. And when he was putting up, anytime he put up over 20 points a game, it seemed like they won.
And how bad do you think Memphis is really as a team?
I don't think they're as bad as their record indicates, and I don't think they're as bad as their 11-game losing streak. The issue was that Chalmers is not good enough to start at point, and Tyreek Evans is not a guy who distributes the ball. So they're in a very difficult spot creating open looks. But I think they're a much better team than their record indicates.
Okay. Having listened to all the breakdown you've just given, Jim, I will take the Knicks here at -2, -104. Again, not that I think it's any kind of a lock or anything remotely close to that, but I will take them. Knicks -2, -104 at Pinnacle. Knicks -2, -104. The line has gotten bet down.
I'm going to jump on this as
really?
Not this bet.
Okay.
I'm going to jump on the over.
Okay.
I think there's going to be points scored. I think Porzingis is going to score. I hope that Chandler Parsons helps the scoring, and I think that 197 is a nice number.
Okay, well, it is a split line, 197 or 196.5. You wager and Bet Online both have a 196.5, so I'll give you that one. Over 196.5 -110, and I'm thinking about that one. Here we go. McOates says, I agree with Jimmy. No Hardaway. Nervous about the over. Carlos Luder says Indiana team total over 109. A lot of people liking that play, the Indiana team total over. Baseball Bob says Knicks are a good play. Big Easy Veezy says, Jim, I'm loving your picks today. Let's get this cash. You the man. Jansen Bonzone says I'm on the Knicks tonight. Hako Schofield says Knicks stay away game, which I can certainly understand that. Stephen Hamilton, I wouldn't touch this with my 10-foot pole. I can certainly understand that. If you bet on the Knicks without Brendan Cummings, if you bet on the Knicks without Porzingis, your balls are much bigger than mine, betting-wise, sir. You are either really smart if it cashes or really not smart if it loses. Tread carefully, Loshak on New York. Yes, I'm assuming that Porzingis is going to be in, although the line movement would suggest maybe not, because if he was in, why would the line movement be going the other way?
All of the comments that I've heard from Porzingis himself indicate that he expects to be playing tonight.
Justin Searcy says Memphis is going to shut the Knicks down. Baseball Bob says Knicks and over parlay. Donald Trump said, I think the Knicks are going to get cream peed here. Okay, wow. All right, let's see. A lot of people saying stay away games. Wow, Justin Searcy saying Tyreek Evans will have a career night tonight. I wonder why, because he's coming to the Garden. That does sometimes happen. Sometimes players just absolutely get up for games in the Garden, anytime LeBron's kind of like that, right?
Definitely.
So Hako Schofield saying Knicks stay away game. All right, interesting. Interesting comments here. Donald Trump, Knicks are balling at home, but I still took Memphis +3 early. Wow. Okay. Nice job there. Carlos Luder says Memphis is a mess. Wow. Okay. Jesus Christ. A lot of going back and forth here. Justin, seriously, Memphis wins outright. Next comment from Baseball Bob. Loves the Knicks tonight. Love the Knicks tonight. Jeez. Okay. Wow. All right. A lot of disagreement here. Carlos Luder says Indiana team total. Everyone liking the Indiana team total. Maybe I will throw that one on there. I think that might be a good play. We'll see. I'm just worried. I hate it when I give a team total like that and then it goes to like 107 or something like that. It's just like pisses me off. But okay, a lot of people saying that they like the Cleveland over. Yeah, I'm going to hold off and wait on that one. Okay, what else do you like here, Jimmy the Bag?
I have one more official pick. I mean, I'll have to double check this, but I believe I just have one more official pick. I am going to take the New Orleans Pelicans at home this evening. They want revenge for their 146-116 loss last time these teams met, November 15th in Denver. In that game, the Nuggets shot 62.9% from the floor, made 18 of 35 threes, and recorded a season-high 37 assists. They will not do that this evening. And this team, this Pelicans team, even without Anthony Davis, who is still feeling pain in the groin when he cuts, he's listed as doubtful. I just expect Cousins to come out and play like a monster. He seems to always do that whenever he's in a situation where he's the lone scorer. He was expelled. He got kicked out of the game. 7th technical in 24 games. I also find that when he gets teed up, he comes back the next game pretty strong. Nuggets are 3-8 on the road, continue to look terrible away from home. They lost by 17 to the Mavericks on Monday. They're still trying to make do without Millsap and Jokic. Jokic is getting closer to returning from his ankle injury, but has been ruled out for tonight. I think this is a nice spot for the Pelicans. I'm going to jump on it. Yeah,
Denver, of course, got pounded by Dallas last game, and that was one of your winners on that day, Jim, and they are now 2-9 ATS on the road. And my note on this game is Pelicans first half here, question mark. Yeah, you like them on the full game better than the first half, huh?
I can see the first half, but I'm going to take him on the full game.
Okay, -5, -105. It has gotten bet up a little bit. It opened at 4. It's now up to 5 -105. And I would definitely be thinking about the first half here. I'm just concerned that Denver, similar to, I mean, we've seen this a lot. When bad teams repeatedly get beat down game after game, sometimes they come back and there's a game where they just explode somewhat out of nowhere and have a big game. I mean, they just got beat down bad by Dallas. You know what I mean? They gotta be smarting from that. You know what I mean?
I just think they in such trouble without both Millsap and Jokic. Their bigs are slow, and I mean Plumlee isn't that slow, but if Fareed is going to play 35 minutes, they're going to lose.
And you think that that New Orleans without Davis has what it takes to comfortably be handling Denver here tonight, even though Denver's going to be salty.
I think that Boogie completely dominates this game. I think he puts up 40.
Right. That's what I was thinking, Jim. All right, I'll take it. I'll take New Orleans on the first half, -2.5, -110. Hope I don't get burned on this one, but I got a lot of very iffy picks in the NBA tonight. I'm just hoping I come out like up a half unit at the end of the day. That would be awesome. And a lot of times when I say that, that's not a good sign. First half, -2.5, -110 on New Orleans. That was my lean on this one. It definitely would have been a lean if I didn't give it as an official pick. So, all right, -2.5, -110 on the first half. Jim's on New Orleans, a full game, -5, -105. And yeah. All right, let's scan some comments, review the picks we've given so far, and a lot of people were asking about college basketball. I don't know how much you looked at college basketball as of now, but in the 12 o'clock shows, I have not had a chance to look into college basketball nearly in depth enough to be able to give official picks on them. So all my official picks come either in tweets between now and the 6 o'clock show, or usually just all in the 6 o'clock show. Jim, though, does look at especially some of the major games, so we will get to that. But in the morning show, the college basketball segment is usually pretty modest for the people who were asking about that. All right, we're going to go over the picks, and then we're going to go over the comments, and then we're going to touch on maybe some of the other games. Oh, we didn't even freaking talk about the Golden State game. Jesus Christ. All right, let's quickly go over the picks and then go over the comments. Jim, of course, is on. Orlando first half -3. Orlando -6. Indiana first half -5.5. The Knicks game over 196.5. The Cavs on the first half -7. New Orleans -5. And the Clippers game under 213. And I am on a lot of controversial picks here. I'm on the Clippers +5.5. 4.5. That might be controversial, but I like that one. I'm on the Miami first half plus 4.5 and Miami plus 8. Those are controversial picks, and I'm less confident about those. I'm on the Clippers under 213 with Jim, and I am on the Knicks -2, -104. That is a controversial pick, and I'm less confident about that one. And I'm on New Orleans first half -2.5, -110. Hopefully I'll come out. My goal is to come out, up 0.3 of a unit would be great. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Well, I understand why you go with your leans. You're doing very well in the NBA. Trust your gut.
Donald Trump saying, you do not talk about the Dallas game, or am I mistaken here? Yeah, we did not, and that's a very interesting game as well. We will get to that in a second. Let me just quickly because these comments, as we know, can be very informative. Let's see. Oh, and Triple Beam says, Loshak, did you hit the Wichita State? Well, we can talk about that in the NCAAB segment, but you remember I said in the beginning of the year, Wichita State, just like the Spurs, is the kind of team that can be down 10 and then be like -12.5 on the second half line and cover easily. We saw that with the Spurs when they were really dominant. We saw that with Wichita State in previous years, and we're seeing it again with Wichita State this year, which I mentioned. Remember that I mentioned that, Jim?
I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, last night was a perfect example of that. All right, let's see. Hako Schofield going with Jimmy today, NBA easy money. Yeah, people are, here we go. Lonzo Goat says Cousins always goes off against the Nuggets. Okay. Stephen Hamilton saying, let's go Pelicans. I'm boogieing tonight. Okay. Al Hard saying, I'm on Charlotte. We will get to that game in a second. Big Easy Veezy, Boogie plays better without Davis. We do see that a lot as well. Okay, just quickly, here we go. Delta 75 likes the Pelicans to win by 12. Very nice, very nice. Okay, Brandon Cummings says the Pelicans will come out swinging. After that, what did the other night? Good pick bag. There you go. And I guess that's about it. Let's move on now. The Charlotte Golden State game. Obviously, Curry is out. The two games without Curry this year, Golden State did lose ATS, although one of them was with Durant out also, and then the other one was one of those close ones where they were just a 12-point favorite, or 12-point favorite, and they won by 10. Charlotte, of course, gets Kemba Walker back, and I don't know. I didn't bet this one yet, but I was thinking about maybe Charlotte. Maybe is the play here. What do you think?
I think that. My lean is definitely Charlotte. Mm-hmm. The issue is with Curry out, is Kevin Durant going to put up 50? Is he going to take it upon himself to win the game? And that's why I didn't make an official pick. Patrick McCaw started for Curry last time he was out in the 110-106 loss to the Kings. Now he'll have his hands full with Kemba Walker, who came back from a 2-game absence to drop 29 points in that 10-point win over the Magic. But McCaw is listed as questionable due to a shot in the face, but I've heard that he's actually going to be fine. The Hornets lost both games without Kemba Walker, and he's back, and he's clearly the leader of this team. And with Durant being ejected, Durant's been ejected 2 of his last 3 games. Pachula is questionable due to a shoulder injury. Livingston will be back after his 1-game suspension. The Hornets are a completely healthy squad. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot.
And I also took a shot with the under. I did bet that one. I got a better line than where it is right now. 217.5 is where it is right now. I'm thinking that to Charlotte, and it does appear to be headed down a bit. If we want Charlotte right now, we could get 5.5 -105 at Bookmaker, but that would be a bet against Klay Thompson, Durant, Draymond Green.
Well, Sean Williams here says no Draymond Green tonight, and Draymond Green is questionable. I think Durant can take it upon himself, but King Dice put good points in that Batum is a good defender on Durant, and that is true. He is a good defender on Durant, but Durant, might be the best player in the league. I mean, arguably the best player in the league, and he can take it upon himself just to dominate games when he wants to. Yeah. Lucky77 says Zaza is playing. That's helpful. It's a tough spot.
Interesting stuff. I feel like Charlotte is definitely the play here because Golden State, a great team, but there are times when they get their ATS losses, and you just have to figure out, is this one of the spots? Every time you're betting against Golden State, it feels like, a risky thing to do, and I guess usually it is, but the ATS losses will come. All right, Jim, you've also had a great read overall on the year on Detroit, and they are catching 4 or 4.5 against Milwaukee. I know you've looked into this game. Lines moved up. It opened at 3. It's now up to 4 or 4.5, so money clearly coming in on Milwaukee. What do you think about this one, Jim, if anything?
Well, Avery Bradley's in a shooting slump, and they really need as much secondary scoring as possible because you can't count on Reggie Jackson every night. They're now 6-7 on the road, losers of 3 straight, and they're in this stretch of 9 out of 11 road games. Now, Avery Bradley needs to step up. He's scored, averaging just 7.3 points on 27.3% in this 3-game losing streak. And they're not going to have John Lure out. He's going to be out until January. The Bucks had their 3-game winning streak snapped, but Giannis put up 40. The Bucks' perimeter defense is so bad, but I'm not sure if the Pistons can take advantage of it with the way Bradley is shooting. The Bucks' 3-point defense is the worst in the league, and Eric Bledsoe does not help that. And the Bucks are dealing with injuries to Dellavedova, Jason Terry, Teledovic. The good news is that if you're a Bucks fan, that Jabari Parker supposedly looks really good. I still think they're going to wait till February, but he'll be the equivalent of a massive trade deadline pickup. Without Avery shooting well, and without knowing that they're going to be able to take advantage of the Bucks' weak defensive perimeter, I'm just going to leave this game alone.
Okay, yes, that's what I was thinking as well. I was like, this is a pass, and I'm going to pass on it. And I'm going to pass on the Charlotte game. Other people were making another interesting point that Charlotte on the first half might be the play. Jamal Witten likes that one, and Jansen Bonzone also identified that. So 2 people independently identified Charlotte on the first half as the play. Yeah, it's a tough game. I guess I'm going to pass on that one. And if Charlotte does cover or win outright, I will be okay with the pass on that one. Other comments, people have made this comment, which is that Durant will look to make a statement playing without Curry, although he's already done that. I know this. It doesn't happen that often that he's playing without Curry, but he's played games in his career without Curry. Do you think he comes into this one being like, I have to show people what I can do? Or, I guess, yeah.
I do
every
think
time
so.
Curry's out. Yeah,
every time he's out, especially, he's playing feisty right now.
Yeah.
Been kicked out of 2 of his last 3 games.
Yes, yeah. I'm going to pass on that one. And then we got to talk about Dallas and Boston. It was such an interesting game. Obviously, they played recently. It was a low-scoring game, although Dallas is going higher, and so is Boston recently. So I was thinking, I don't know, maybe a shot with the over. The first game was just very recently went to overtime. It was in Dallas, but here, recently they played. It went to OT, and now Boston is at home, giving Dallas a ton of points. Do you have anything to say about that one?
Well, the Celtics are 7-0 against the West. They lost their first game of their current homestand. They've won 3 straight. The line on Al Horford in these last 3 games is nuts. 18.3 points, 7.3 boards, and 8 assists a game. Kyrie's averaging 29 a game. Now, the Mavs have won 2 straight in 4 of their last 6, and they looked really good against this shitty Nuggets team. But just an idea of how easy Boogie is going to have it in that game. The Mavs came into their game versus the Nuggets last in the league in points in the paint, and then they put up 64 points in the paint against the Nuggets team. The Mavs are improving. They're improving, and I love it. But, God, it's a tough place to play in Boston. So.
All right, well, we got to move on. Maybe we can revisit this, in the NBA segment in the 6 o'clock show. We will be doing that in the 6 o'clock show. People are asking about the best bets. I don't know. You know what I'm going to say my best bet is? I'm going to say it's the Clippers plus 5.5 minus 105. I just don't think it's a good spot for a runaway win by Minnesota. They might get the win, but I think if they do get the win, it's close. I feel like the game goes down to the wire. It's going to be like a 98-97 game with like 45 seconds to go, and whether the Timberwolves win or lose, you probably get the cover with the Clippers. So that's what I'm going to say. It might lose, but if you put me on the spot, make me pick one of my picks that I think is the best bet. That's what I'm going to say. Jim, what would you say?
My best bet is that Jersey Made is Kobe Valentine. My best bet is as soon as Jersey Made was off of this chat, Kobe Valentine showed up. My second best bet of the day is the Orlando Magic. I'm taking them on the first half and the full game.
Okay, -3 at BetDSI. Everyone else has 3.5. The bookmaker had 3, -115 when I checked. And -6, -110. That was also a DSI line. Pinnacle had -6.5, -101. So there you go. And a lot of people were endorsing that play on Orlando. All right, I guess that's it. Let's just quickly review the plays well, no, we don't have time to do that. We'll review all the plays in the wrap-up segment. Let's move on to a college basketball. Quickly throw up the college basketball record. Our college basketball records are both positive. Look at that shit. Jimmy the Bag. I'm up 12.5 units plus 9.5% ROI. And you are up 3.7 units plus 7.7% ROI, and those are both excellent records, even better than respectable. Those are excellent records, solidly excellent records. This card I have not looked at in depth enough to give any picks at all, although I did bet the first half under in the Fairfield-Houston game at 12 o'clock, 69. I don't even know if that one cashed or not, but hopefully it did. Jimmy the Bag, it's a huge card. We're going to cover this one in depth in the 6 o'clock show. Do you have anything to say at all about any of the games on the card?
This is a very, very huge amount of games, slate of games. If there's any games that you want us to look at particularly, please drop them right now. Let us know right now, because there's 50 games that we're looking at. There's some really nice spots here that I've seen already, and there's some really tough ones. you know, I feel like I just need to study this card longer before I make an official pick. But man, I love some of these. Some of this. There's some setups for us to make some money in college today.
Here's a great suggestion. MC Coates 80. Can you put up your bets on the screen at 6 p.m.? And the answer to that is, of course we could. That's a great idea. In the beginning of each segment, we can put our picks from the morning show. We can't do it in the live shows because we make the picks as the shows are going on. But we can put the picks from the morning show in the 6 o'clock show as graphics. That's a friggin' great idea. See, these comments are just friggin' awesome, right?
Totally.
Sometimes they're flattering. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes they're informative when it comes to handicapping the games. And sometimes they're just great tips for how to make the show better.
Yeah, no, you guys...
LoBaggers.
Yeah, the LoBaggers. I love them.
I love it so much, and I'm happy that we were able to give them a winning day yesterday. All right, so that's it for our college basketball. We will be back at 6 o'clock and have a bunch of picks for college basketball. Now let's just wrap the show up. All the picks that Jim and I have given officially. These are all the picks that Jim and I have given officially so far. Jim, in hockey, Edmonton over 5.5. Philly money line plus 111. Ottawa money line plus 101. That's it in hockey. In basketball, the NBA, Jim has given Clippers under 213, Cavs first half -7, New Orleans -5, Orlando first half -3, Orlando -6, Indiana first half -5.5, and the Knicks game over 196.5 -110. I have given in NHL Toronto -1, Edmonton over 5.5 plus 100, and I think that's it. Only 2 picks from the NHL. Yeah. And in the NBA, all my controversial picks, Clippers plus 5.5. Clippers game under 213. Miami first half plus 4.5 -114. And Miami plus 8. Knicks -2 -104. And New Orleans first half -2.5 -110. And I'm definitely leaning towards adding on the Indiana team total, but I'll pass on that one for now. If it's still 109 in the 6 o'clock show, maybe I'll give it then, Jim. But I definitely agree with your play, and I actually bet Indiana on the first half. That was the first bet that I made. I don't know why I didn't give it as official pick. I think because I bet it at 5, and now it's 5.5, and I'm just thinking about it. But I might add that one in the 6 o'clock show. Thanks so much for all the comments. We're running over. We got to run. We'll see you at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific.